When a journalist mocked Donald Trump at a charity gala, no one expected his calm response to steal the show. The Regency Palace Hotel had transformed into a spectacle of elegance for the evening, its grand ballroom becoming a haven of opulence that seemed to transcend time. Hanging from the ceiling were massive crystal chandeliers, each one like a frozen waterfall of light, casting a golden glow over the assembled guests. The walls, adorned with intricate gold leaf designs, reflected not just light but the prestige and power of those gathered. The air was perfumed with the scent of rare orchids, mingling with the gentle strains of a live jazz band whose melodies wrapped around the room, creating an ambiance of celebration and philanthropy. This was the setting for the annual Hope for Education Gala, an event renowned for its fundraising efforts aimed at enhancing educational opportunities for underprivileged children nationwide. Donald Trump, seated at a table prominently placed near the stage, was an undeniable centerpiece in this exhibition of wealth and influence. His silver hair and distinctive profile were as much a part of the decor as the lavish surroundings. His presence was strategic, a calculated step to reshape his public image from one often mired in controversy to one of philanthropy and leadership. Trump watched the room with the keen eyes of a master strategist, his expression a blend of amusement and vigilance, always several steps ahead in this high-stakes social dance. The evening proceeded with the grace and precision of a well-rehearsed ballet. The jazz band's music was the soft pulse of the night, while the waitstaff, dressed in their crisp, tailored uniforms, moved with balletic precision, offering flutes of champagne and an array of hors d'oeuvres that were culinary masterpieces in miniature. Conversations flowed, laughter was shared, toasts were raised to the night's cause, each one resonating with the purpose of the gala. Yet beneath this veneer of conviviality, there was an electric anticipation, all eyes subtly directed toward the stage for the keynote address, by a journalist known for his incisive wit and progressive critique. As the master of ceremonies introduced the journalist with a flourish, the room's ambiance shifted. The chatter diminished to a respectful hush, and every gaze, including Trump's, turned towards the stage. Trump reclined in his chair, his posture a mix of relaxation and readiness, a knowing smile playing on his lips, as if he was already several moves ahead in this social game. The journalist, clad in a suit that was both a statement of authority and a nod to rebellion, took the stage with the confidence of someone who knew how to command an audience. He acknowledged the applause with a modest nod, his eyes scanning the room, perhaps looking for Trump's reaction. He started with light, humorous commentary, speaking of the city's notorious weather patterns and sharing an amusing anecdote from the previous year's gala, where someone had inadvertently bid thousands on what they thought was a piece of art, but was actually just a decorative vase. The room filled with laughter, easing the initial tension. But as he warmed to his task, his tone shifted to something more serious, delving into the state of the nation, the role of media, and the personalities shaping these narratives. He lampooned politicians with a blend of satire and critique, drawing varied responses. Some laughed, others wore expressions of discomfort. Then came the moment everyone was bracing for, the mention of Donald Trump. "We can't discuss the political circus without acknowledging the ringleader," he said with a tone of feigned reverence. "Whether you love him or loathe him, you've got to admit he's turned politics into a reality show like no other." The laughter was mixed. Some found humor in it, others shifted in their seats, while Trump himself maintained his composure, his smirk subtle yet telling. The journalist continued, each remark sharper than the last, touching on Trump's business dealings, his prolific use of social media, and his larger-than-life persona. Imagine having the world's attention at your fingertips, where a tweet could either start an international incident or promote your latest business venture, he mused, the humor now edged with critique. The laughter waned, replaced by a palpable tension as the room felt the weight of his commentary. And of course, the journalist paused, letting the anticipation build. "We can't overlook his unparalleled talent for making every event, every policy, every scandal about him. So let's talk about Donald Trump." A collective intake of breath filled the room, heads turning between the stage and Trump, who sat with an unreadable expression. The journalist's tone was playful, yet the words carried a sting. Picture running a country from atop a golden tower where every decision can be broadcasted to millions, while the rest of us are just trying to navigate our everyday lives. That must be some kind of character-building experience. The attempt at humor fell flat. There were scattered, nervous chuckles, but predominantly, the room was silent, the air thick with the implications of what had been said. Trump, however, did not react as expected. Instead, he stood up, his chair scraping back, and walked toward the stage with deliberate, almost regal steps, his presence commanding the room's undivided attention. The journalist, visibly caught off guard, watched as Trump approached. The tension escalated, like the quiet before a storm. Trump reached the podium, not facing the journalist directly but engaging the entire audience. His voice when he spoke was calm, measured, devoid of the anticipated anger or defensiveness. "Thank you for the entertainment," he began, his words catching everyone off guard. "I've been in this public eye long enough to know how this game is played, but there's a crucial thing we often forget during these grand events." He paused, letting the silence amplify his next words, then continued. "Behind every headline, every tweet, every critique, there's a human being, someone striving to make a difference in their own way for a cause they believe in. We're all here tonight for one reason, aren't we? To support those in need. Words can divide, but they can also unite, and I choose the latter." His speech was a masterstroke of redirection, focusing on unity rather than personal vindication. The room, previously on edge, now felt a different kind of tension, one of introspection and acknowledgement. The emphasis was not on himself, but on the collective purpose of the evening. The journalist, disarmed by this response, stood in silence as Trump returned to his seat, receiving a standing ovation that was more about the moment of unity he had just facilitated than about him personally. Social media was soon flooded with clips of the event, sparking widespread debate over the ethics of public critique in media, with many lauding Trump for his unexpected grace and call for unity. In the aftermath, the journalist issued a public apology, acknowledging the delicate balance between humor and respect, particularly when addressing public figures at such events. For Donald Trump, this event wasn't merely another episode in his tumultuous public life. It was an opportunity to showcase his leadership, choosing to elevate the cause over personal controversy. As the night transitioned into the after-party, the conversation continued to revolve around the unexpected lesson in empathy and unity delivered by one of the country's most divisive figures. The Hope for Education Gala would be remembered not only for its fundraising achievements, but for the profound moment when words were not used to divide, but to unite in a shared mission. This evening at the Regency Palace Hotel had become more than just a charity event. It had turned into a stage for a message of respect, understanding, and common ground, resonating far beyond the ballroom's opulent walls. The days following the gala saw this event analyzed in editorials, discussed in classrooms, and debated in homes. It sparked a broader conversation on the impact of public discourse, the responsibilities of media, and the potential for empathy and respect in even the most polarized environments. Donald Trump, in this instance, had not just attended a gala, he had contributed to a narrative shift, reminding everyone that behind every public figure, there's a person with the capacity to inspire change, unity, and perhaps a new understanding. Months later, the ripple effects were still felt. The incident had led to a surge in donations to the Hope for Education Foundation, with many citing Trump's speech as a catalyst for their support. Educational programs expanded, scholarships were awarded, and new initiatives were launched, all under the banner of the unity that night had symbolized. The event also influenced the journalist's approach to his work. He began to focus more on constructive criticism, advocating for a shift in how public figures are discussed in media, emphasizing understanding over ridicule. His subsequent speeches and articles reflected this change, often referencing the gala as a pivotal moment in his career. For Donald Trump, the gala was not just about shifting public perception, but about reaffirming his commitment to causes he believed in, showcasing a side of his personality often eclipsed by his more controversial actions. He continued to support educational charities, using his influence to bring attention to the importance of education as a tool for social mobility. Thus, what began as a night of anticipated mockery turned into an enduring lesson on the power of unity, respect, and the human capacity for change, extending the impact of the Hope for Education Gala far into the future.